This is absolutely ridiculous, y'all. These people are literally out here prioritizing the delusional feelings of biological men over the safety of females. Just complete disgusting garbage that I hate having to talk about, but I have to expose just how purely evil this is. And I found this article on the postmillennial.com. It's titled "Girls High School Basketball Team Forfeits After Trans Player Injures 3 Players." A Massachusetts charter school ended a girls varsity basketball game at halftime on February 8th after multiple players were injured by a trans-identified male on the opposing team. The coach of the collegiate charter school of Lowell girls basketball team made the decision to end the game against Kipp Academy after watching a third player injured in the game. A press release from the school states the bench was already depleted going into the game, with the 12-player roster having 4 players unable to play. When the coach saw 3 more girls go down in the first half, leaving him with 5 players, he made the call to end the game early. Wow, you think? The school said that the charter school playoffs were approaching and he needed a healthy and robust bench in 4 days. Once the third was injured, the remaining 5 expressed concerns to him about continuing to play. Players expressing their concerns to the coach. The players feared getting injured and not being able to compete in the playoffs. What is going on with this world, y'all? Like, why don't these girls and all real women refuse to compete? It doesn't make sense. Like, in what world do you think that you're going to dominate a grown man in any physical competition, in any arena with the capacity that you've been given? Football, basketball, baseball, boxing. It's not going to happen. Stop showing up to these things and save yourself the pain, ladies. And they were already missing a third of the team and knew they'd be going up against a gargantuan with a beard. So if anything, you'd want extra backups and reinforcements in that case, not less. And then to add insult to injury, they let not 1 player get injured, not 2, but 3 poor little girls got tossed around in just the first half before they finally saw enough and called the game. Coach, what are you doing? Like, you're there to lead these children, to guide them, to instill discipline, but also to look out for their physical well-being, to look out for their safety. Like, why wasn't that man ejected after the first injury is my question, that boy on the other team that wasn't supposed to be there in the first place? And I mean, at this point, the amount of questions that I have is off the charts just because how ridiculous this whole thing is. Let's continue because there's more. The school wrote that it supports the decision and reiterates its values of both inclusivity and safety for all students. Yeah. We take the standards set by the MIAA and our board of trustees seriously and strive to uphold them on and off the court. We also follow the guidance from the MIAA and state laws regarding equity and access for all student athletes. One video of the game showed the biological male player standing taller than the female players, ripping the ball out of a female collegiate charter school of Lowell player's hands. She was seen clutching her back while she laid on the ground, grimacing in pain as team members surrounded her. Let's take a look at that video real quick and you tell me if you see anything wrong with it. Yep, nothing unusual to see here. Nothing abnormal about number 32 being on the court with those girls at all. It clearly looks to me like you do value the safety of all student athletes. Yep, absolutely. What are these people smoking? I don't get it. This is unacceptable. And the article actually goes on. I have to continue before I lose my train of thought and go off on a very passionate tangent. I'll save that till the end. But according to the item live, Kipp led at halftime 31-14. Kipp is the school with the trans boy. The trans identified male player is reportedly over 6 feet tall. That's taller than me. I'm 6 foot even, and has facial hair. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athlete Association, MIAA, states in its handbook that if a school offers a single team in a particular sport, it may not restrict eligibility based on gender unless such a restriction is necessary to ensure that the school's gender gender designation of athletic opportunities complies with Title IX. A student shall not be excluded from participation on a gender-specific sports team that is consistent with the student's bona fide gender identity, the handbook adds. So basically, what I gather from that is if the student is convinced and delusioned and lying to themselves that they're a woman when they are in fact a man, something that they can't change. God created you as he intended you to be. He don't make mistakes. Started with Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, not even Amelia. If you're a boy, always will be. But to them, if a student has lied to themselves in their own mind and sold the thought process of I'm a woman, but I'm in fact a man, they go along with it. They don't deny or question that whatsoever. They're not allowed to restrict that player from being on that sports team. Ain't that something?
What's wrong with you people?
Collegiate Charter School of Lowell athletic director Kyle Pelzar told Item Live that he and coach Kevin Ortons knew ahead of time that the trans-identified male played on the team, as they have played that school before this season. The trans-identified male has been on the girls' roster since the start of the season. That athletic director went on to say, no, and coach knew going into the game already because we had them at home the first game of the year and nothing happened then. So he knew going into the game, Pelzar said. The previous game, which took place on December 12th, resulted in Kip winning 36-29. Kip is the other school with the boy on the team. They only won by 7 points. So clearly we see why the boy is participating in women's sports, because he's not that good if he can only dominate by a mere 7 points. But so he felt that his girls were getting injured basically all game. Pelzar said he has a playoff game on Monday, so he didn't want to have any more of his girls go down. Goodness gracious, this is bad because I want to feel a level of sympathy for these girls, but they already knew there was a guy on the other team and they still showed up. They still chose to play, and they probably wanted to quit, some of them that is, but then they risk losing any sort of scholarship chances or pro opportunities that may present themselves someday. And all that hard work and dedication, blood, sweat, tears, and years that they poured into this sport, that'd be tossed out of the window right there because they'd probably get kicked off the team if they refuse to play against this kid, because this woke narrative and this propaganda that's being peddled, these coaches would boot them off the team and they just keep working down the list until they found somebody that did want to play. And it's very unfortunate. It's just an all-around very sad situation, no matter what angle you want to take. And Riley Gaines, one of my favorite ladies out here fighting for women's rights and advocating for those and just being bold in the face of all of this wokeness, she saw that video and she went to X and said, a man hitting a woman used to be called domestic abuse. Now it's called brave. Who watches this and actually thinks this is compassionate, kind, and inclusive? A bunch of sick and twisted weirdos, that is. Like these people that think this is okay, they got a very painful ending coming for them come Judgment Day if they don't repent and stop this. And just in case you don't know who Riley Gaines is by now, she's a former University of Kentucky swimmer, one of the best in the entire nation at this time. She actually wound up tying with a man for 5th place in the women's 200-meter NCAA championship back in 2022. They ended up awarding William Thomas, who wants us to call him Leah Thomas, but that ain't happening over here. I call you and address you by what you actually genetically are, not what you've lied and confused yourself into thinking you are. But they tied for 5th place at that tournament, and the NCAA awarded William Thomas the 5th place trophy because they only had one of them, and for media reasons and their political agenda, they had to give him the trophy. And then Riley had to wait for hers to come in the mail. Just straight up disrespectful. And on top of that, then she had to share a locker room with that same creeper. And that's the culture that we're living in, y'all. And it's got nothing to do with inclusivity. This is child abuse. When you're grown up and you choose to participate and compete against men, that's your own prerogative. It's not going to end good either way. But when we're talking about kids under 18, this is straight up abuse. And those of us that still cling to common sense and aren't part of this woke, loony leftist tour that's taking place, we told y'all this is why boys and girls, men and women need separate sports. And God built us different. It's okay. That's perfectly okay. And there's a reason that 220 plus pound heavyweight boxers don't box against 120 pound featherweights. You didn't see Mike Tyson going up against even people like Floyd Mayweather because it wouldn't end well. And you don't see 17-year-olds competing against 8-year-old pee-wee football players because that would be insane. This is insane. And I'm sick and tired of all this evil nonsense. I'm sure you are as well. Parents, do your jobs. It would be easy for us to sit back and say, sue the school, sue the superintendent, press charges on those boys that are beating up on innocent little girls. But parents, it starts with y'all at home. Why are you allowing your daughters to participate if they're going to have to compete against Big Joe and Debo every time they step onto the court, the field, in the swimming pool, and worse off, they're going to have to see that pervert in the locker room. Parents, you need to refuse to allow your child to participate in this. You need to boycott. And if real women don't start standing up for themselves and not playing, refusing to participate in this evil that's going on, this is only going to keep happening. And people are already getting hurt. At some point, somebody is going to die, if they haven't already, from having to take on somebody that's just way more physically dominant than they are. And we got to keep unveiling the curtain and exposing just how wrong this is, just how diabolical, and all the worst adjectives that you could possibly label this with. It's that and then some. And we have to keep defending and honoring real women, real females, not the fake facade ones that are confused and twisted. We need to get those people some mental help right away. And we need to pray like never before that all this wokeness gets put to bed for good real soon. So God bless all the ladies and the men that are out here fighting the good fight, standing up for the truth. There's only one of those, that there's men, there's women. They're designed to be separate. They're designed to be united in marriage with each other, the only ones that can produce babies together. But in sports, we're separate, and it always needs to remain that way. But I'd love to hear what you think about all this. I could go on a rant for this for days, but let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Let's keep this conversation rolling. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, ring that notification bell so you get notified anytime I post a new video. If you like what I'm doing over here and you want to show a little extra love and support, make sure you go check out our website down below in the description section. That way you can get all the awesome shirts you see me wearing in every single video. They're all made by my beautiful wife. This one says created with a purpose. It has it on the chest and on the sleeve. It's based on Ephesians 2 verse 10. I like mine a little baggy, so it seems a little extra room to move and groove, but we got all different sizes ranging from itty bitty extra small to big and hefty 5X, a bunch of colors, different designs, all of that. I'm sure you can find something that you like or a great gift for someone that you love. Outside of that, you can always join the Gibson family here on YouTube and become a member. You can buy me a coffee. You can join the Patreon family. All those links are down below as well. By no means do you have to do any of that. Just showing up and allowing my freckle face to rant at you for a few minutes, I am greatly appreciative. I love y'all. I cannot thank you enough. Until next time, I'll be praying for you. Godspeed. I'm gone.